Today I'm going to show you that the order you arrange your effects matters and that you will get non-identical results if you arrange them differently. Okay, so in my first example, I'm just going to play a simple sine wave. Here in parametric EQ, you can just see it's just that one fundamental tone. Now let's add a distortion plugin. So you can hear quite a bit of distortion, but if you look at our EQ, it's still just showing that one tone, and that's because the order that you place these matter. So our EQ is currently analyzing the tone before it even runs into the distortion. So if I click this drop down menu here and I press move down, now the distortion goes first and then the EQ second, and look at the difference. So you can actually see all of it, which means you can now EQ all of it too. By the way, you can also move these around with your mouse wheel. That's what I'm using right now instead of going into the drop-down menu. Okay, for the second example, I'm going to add some reverb. So right now we have a sine wave being distorted and then reverbed and then EQ'd. But now watch what happens if I switch around the reverb and the distortion. So now it's a sine wave being reverbed, and then we're distorting the reverb. So you can hear quite a bit of difference. Typically, you don't want to be distorting your reverbs unless it's for some creative purpose. I'm sure you can find something. I've done it in the past. But yeah, you would put a distortion on and then reverb it, because that's going to give you the cleanest signal. Okay, now I'm going to open a delay plugin and have some volume information. And we'll have the volume just go right to 0 in that moment. And take note that the volume automation is coming after the delay. See how it perfectly cuts off right there? Now watch what happens when we switch these around. So now the delay comes after the volume automation. What's happening here is this volume automation is telling this sine wave to not play any more notes beyond this point. You're hearing the delay fade out of this last note. Let's say we want to add a compressor. Just add a little bit of compression in here. Maybe we want to do something like a little bit of filter movement inside of this EQ. So what this compressor is showing us is the signal before this EQ sweep is occurring. So there's compression occurring, but it's not getting this EQ sweep either, which is obviously giving us a huge jump in volume, over 12 decibels. So if I switch these around, so now the EQ sweep becomes before the compressor. So now the compressor has a chance to actually compress what's happening in this EQ. Look how different this will be. See how much more compression is occurring there? It's because all of this is hitting the compressor now. And I'll switch it back again so you can see it. You can like hear when the EQ sweep comes after the compressor, it comes so loud that we're actually clipping. Right there. Hear that digital clip. But when you switch it around, the compressor takes care of it. I want to do one more example to really demonstrate how important this can be sometimes. Okay, so we have this sound playing very low, and let's say that I want to add some distortion to it. Let's say I want to filter it out. Just have the high end of that distortion. All's good, right? But watch what happens when I switch these around. So I'm playing right now. You can see this is counting, but we can't hear anything. And the reason being because right now there's this low sound that was being filtered first. So there's nothing left by the time it hits the distortion. It's playing right now, there's no sound. But, we switch it around in this order, that low wave is hitting the distortion, producing all that high-end distortion content. And there it is. Part of having a good sound is having a good clean chain. Hopefully I've demonstrated the impact of the order that your effects can have. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. I really appreciate everybody tuning into this channel and checking out the discussions and tutorials and music I've been putting up. I put my original music here on YouTube and on soundcloud.com/retouch. I also stream FL Studio content pretty often on my Twitch, twitch.tv/retouch with 2 underscores. So come through and say what's up and check out some of that. See you later.